Hey, it's Ricky Fowler. You're listening to Farmers Inside the Ropes on ESPN Radio 1700.
Welcome back. Farmers Inside the Ropes. Man, coming with some brat. Well done, Scott. Brings me back to my misspent youth. Man. I'm Peter Ripa, joined by Todd Leonard, and you're listening to Farmers Inside the Ropes, and we've got a special opportunity, and, you know, a guy who I've got to know over the years, played AJGA, but also knew him when I was at Colonial as tournament director, and now at Farmers Insurance Open with some San Diego ties as well. On the TaylorMade hotline, we're joined by Pat Perez. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, what's up?
How's it going, man? Last week you...
down there?
I'm sorry?
You didn't tell me Leonard was going to be on there.
See, I told him if you knew, you wouldn't come on.
Hey, let me...
Come on. I'm kidding.
Tell me, Pat, tell me when I just need to put him in a headlock, and we'll go with it.
Yeah, that'll do until I get there.
All right. Last week, top 25 finish at PGA Championship. I know we're gonna get a candid answer, but your impression of the Ocean Course at Kiawah.
To be honest with you, it's one of the best courses I've played. When I got there, I loved everything about it, and I don't usually love major courses. Are usually really hard, and they're not really that good looking. Especially you go play the British Open, it's uglier than hell. This course was just awesome. The grass was incredible. The facilities were awesome. I mean, it was one of my favorite majors of all time.
And I tell you what, the PGA of America, I don't know your thoughts on this, but I think that Kerry Hagan, the PGA of America, does a great job in setting up golf courses. And the way they set up Kiawah with those areas where he gave you a lot of options. If you miss greens, whether it's playing a high shot, low shot, and obviously with the winds, and that Paspalum was a challenge, but even guys could putt it. I thought they really did a good job in setting it up.
They did. They could have done a little better job on Friday with that wind. I mean, obviously the scoring hours would be 78 and taking 6 hours plus to play. that was a little stupid. They didn't. I know it's a major. I know you want it to be hard and all that kind of stuff, but that was going to be hard if you'd have played the red tees.
Yeah.
Really so why not kind of speed it up a little bit? I mean, it was hot. It was windy as shit. I mean, it was whatever. It was just the way it was. But the rest of it was good, and I think they did a phenomenal job with it. I think it was hard but fair. Friday was tough, obviously, but it's a major, so you expect every round. I'm getting to the point where every round you play in a major is going to be very, very hard.
Oh yeah, button your chin strap.
That was as hard as the first. That was actually I was second to the round. The first round I played British at Royal Birkdale was honestly the hardest round I've ever played in my life. But that Friday was a close second. So. It was awesome, though. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah, and I could tell you, watching it on Friday, it was painful. I mean, I don't think there's anybody watching it saying, I wish I was there playing it right now. We're joined by Pat Perez on the TaylorMade hotline. And, Todd, your thoughts on, FedEx Cup as we come up.
Pat, first of all, I mean, a tie for 21st, I mean, that's pretty darn good in those conditions in particular. How are you feeling about the game right now? You had a great start to the season, a lot of top 15s, fell off a little bit midsummer. How are you feeling about the game right now?
My putting's really been the issue all year. I've hit it well enough to have a lot more money than I do now. And, I fiddle around with a lot of things, and I putted really good last week. I went back to my cross-handed waves that I won. Like when I won at the Hope, and I kind of got away from that for a while, just trying other new things. And I don't know why I went away from it, but I did. But last week I got there on Monday, and I said, I'm just going to try and go back to something that I know, and it was cross-handed. And I had a great chance to finish top 10. I just, in a major, when you're rolling in a term like that, you've got to hold on for dear life and make your pars that you can make. And you got to make great saves. But every now and then you're going to get an opportunity for a birdie or an eagle or something like that. And when that comes, especially in the major, you really have to take advantage of it. On the weekend, I just didn't. I mean, I fought well to shoot even on the weekend, but I still had a few opportunities to make some birdies. I had some chances on Sunday to make a couple birdies, and I didn't, and it basically cost me a top 10. But in the end, it was I was pleased with the week because I really wasn't that confident going into there, especially playing so bad at Reno. But I don't know. I got there, and I just felt there was going to be something good. A few putts, and who knows? But overall, the game's good. I'm looking forward to getting the Bethpage Black. I have not made a cut in the first playoff yet, so I'm looking to break that streak. It's always kind of killed me in the playoffs. But Bethpage, I played at the Open in 2002, and I'm really looking forward to getting back there and get a nice tough course and one that I've seen before.
Hey, Pat, I got to ask you about the rules stuff that went on last week because, there's been a lot of buzz about it. I mean, Peterson... Pardon?
The rule stuff?
The rules issues last week with Peterson and what happened with him. And just...
No, I don't even know what it was.
Well, he got penalized for hitting one single leaf, in his backswing. And he's obviously in contention, the two shots cost him, $400,000 and obviously, a better shot at winning, although Rory ran away. But just from your perspective, the comment afterwards, and Dave Faraday probably had the most interesting one, which was, why are amateurs making rules for professionals? Why don't professionals make rules for themselves?
Pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about the kind of the rules that golf has that just no other sport has, where you can be totally affected by something, whether it's a scorecard issue or just something super minor that can completely affect the outcome, whereas in other sports, there's just not that weird factor. I mean, how have you felt about it over the years?
Well, I got one question for you. It's actually for everybody out there. Where is the number to call? I play the game for a living. I've been out here 11 years. I don't know what that number is.
Yeah. And if you have it, lose it.
I mean, you get done, and all of a sudden, you hear about like 45 people calling in about some rule. Where is that number posted is what I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I've never heard about it, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think it's absolutely tragic, and I think it's horrendous that people can sit there and DVR something and go back and call in on a rule. I mean, it's finally happening now in sport, in baseball and football and stuff. But for the longest time, you'd sit there and be throwing stuff at your TV because you're losing your bet or whatever for a bad call.
Right.
You can't call in; they can't go back. If it's not called at that point in time on the golf course, it's not happening unless it is so blatant that you have to go back and either disqualify a guy or you saw him really cheat, or the whole thing with the scorecard. You're a grown man. Read the scorecard. If it doesn't match, then change something, sign a card, and go. It's really simple. I mean, we've been doing that since we were 8 years old. You keep score, you check your score, and you sign it and you go. It's nothing. Any kind of scorecard rule. I don't have any sympathy. For anybody that gets DQ'd or whatever, because they didn't check their car. I mean, that's something you learn back in 5th grade. That's playing junior golf. So, but some of these other rules, people trying to call in and see if this guy got DQ'd. I thought it was phenomenal that, what the hell's the name of the guy? I can't remember his name, but he was doing something, and, on Monday and Tuesday, they kept saying, don't call in because of a bunker issue.
Yeah, because of the play through the green.
Don't call in.
Right.
I don't even know what they're going to call anyway. But
right.
Hey, they're not bunkers this week. They're not this. They're not this. I guarantee there was still 100 people that called in about that.
Yeah, no question.
I was actually making it a point to see if somebody would call in. I had a couple of shots, and I would take huge practice. A whole bunch of sand, just to kind of see.
Look back at the camera and smile.
If anybody was saying anything in the crowd, just to see what kind of reaction.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. At least they made that clear last week, because that could have turned into a nightmare for them anyway. But these rules of action, like Peterson, I didn't see it. I was already flying home when not flying home, but when it all came up and they started talking about it, I was already gone. I didn't hear about it until I landed, but I still haven't seen the tape.
Yeah. We're joined by Pat Perez PGA Tour player, and Pat, I'm with you. To the average fan, you think about when fans turn in to watch golf, and largely, they're turning in for majors, and you look at the other sports, the team sports. If you were to call in for the NFL or basketball, it's just crazy. So it's one of those things that makes golf that's difficult for the average fan to understand. Is like, what the heck is that? You got called in on a deal?
It makes absolutely no sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what kind of person feels great about calling in and trying to get somebody DQ'd or whatever. The guy that should be protecting the sport is the guy that's playing it.
Yeah.
The guy that if he cheats in his own, if he thinks he cheated or something happens, that's the best thing about our sport anyways, is somebody will, for the most part, say, you know what, I think I got an infraction. If the ball moves on the green until they change that rule, the guy says, everyone I've ever played with, I'm not even watching on the green. The guy goes, hey, my ball moved. And I'll go, really? I didn't, He calls it on himself. That's actually a phenomenal thing about this sport, is that guys call things on themselves.
Yeah.
We don't need people calling in for us, about certain issues. Now, if it's totally blatant, of course, that's one thing. But, when I won the Hope, funny enough, there's something on YouTube. There's a question on there, and there's about 12 videos. Did Pat Perez cheat? I don't know if anybody's seen it, but my ball's sitting like a bird's nest on the back of 15 there. And you can put your club down behind the ball. I don't think people know enough about the rules anyway. That's why they call it.
Just enough to be dangerous.
This ball is sitting in a bird's nest. You couldn't move it if you had to. And people said the ball moved, this and this. They called in. I didn't find out until after I got done. This was on 15. I only had 3 holes left. Yeah. And when I got the scoring for this, we might have a rules infraction. I said, what the hell are you talking about? He said, well, did you move your ball on 15? I said, no, I put the club behind the ball. But they had so many calls in about it, and it's on YouTube. Did Pat Perez cheat this and this?
Yeah. That's not right.
Learn the rules first before they can, call in about something like that, especially if it's going to affect someone's,
livelihood
or finish or something like that.
Pat, we're up against a hard break, man. Can I have you hold over through our break, and we can finish up?
Yeah, no problem.
You're listening to Farmers Inside the Ropes on ESPN 1700.